What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to do a comparison video. And I'm not sure I've really done too many comparison videos, but people seem to like them. And so, yeah, why not? I know this is maybe an odd comparison, but I think that's what comparison videos are kind of about. Like, I've seen some people do watch videos with, a Rolex versus a Seiko and things like that. So, I figured, what the heck? We'll do the Hinderer XM-24 versus the Midgards-Messer Bömbur. And the reason why I'm doing these two together is because when I did this video, which just came out a week or so ago when you see this, a viewer commented and said, hey, if you could have only one, would you have the Bömbur or would you have the XM-24? And it made me think, I had never thought of the two as one or the other, right? So I thought, well, what the heck? I mean, I think my comment, and I'm going to link to the video on this down below. And I did not do a video on this specific one, but I did do one on a titanium version, a no flipper titanium version. So I'll put a link to that comment or to that video down below also. All the same exact sizes, dimensions, all that stuff is all the same. So between the two between the titanium and the G10 one. So I'll put links to those videos down below. I think my response to the comment was, fortunately, I don't need to choose and I can have them both. That was that was a week or so back, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. That's a good question. So now every time I've picked either of these up, I have really thought about which one would I keep. So I'm going to do this completely off the cuff. I don't have my list of specs, and I'm not going to go through all the sizes and all of that stuff because those are in the other videos. But I will talk about just some of the differences and try to kind of compare them a little bit and contrast them. So the Bömbur is a little bit smaller, a little bit taller blade. Fits in the hand really well. Okay? It really feels comfortable in the hand. As does the Hinderer. And guys, I like the Hinderer a lot more than I thought I was going to. I did a trade, like when I had borrowed the other Hinderer that I did the video on, I didn't really love it. And I was like, yeah, okay, it's cool. It's nice, but it's not, I don't want one. I didn't want one. I got this in a trade for a Chris Reeve Sebenza. Thought that was fair. And I fully intended, because the other person really wanted the Chris Reeve. I didn't really want this, but I'm like, sure. I fully intended to get this and the next day post it for sale, and I figured this will be easier to sell than the Chris Reeve anyway. I hung on to it for a few days, and I absolutely loved it. So I kept it. So these are both, this is on washers, so this is an older one. This is not the tri-way on bearings. If it was the tri-way on bearings, the action would be as good as, if not better, than the Bömbur. Okay? Because this is on bearings. As you can see, it doesn't drop. I mean, it just kind of falls shut. There's some resistance. It doesn't drop and cut your finger off. And this one doesn't do that. Shake it a little bit and it closes, no problem. So they both feel great in the hand. They both feel really good in the pocket. However, this one comes out of the pocket easier than this one. This one, it's kind of a hard edge there on the side of the pocket clip. So if they had have done kind of a radius like they did on this side, then this thing would come out of your pocket beautifully. But it's a little bit of a ledge there, so it kind of hangs up as you draw it out. I like the full backspacer. I don't know why, I just like that better than the standoffs, I think. They're about the same weight. I think if this one was the titanium, it would be the same weight. This is S35 VN on the Hinderer, and this is D2 on the Bömbur. Titanium bearings, G10 washers. So they are different knives, and I think they can live together. Well, they do live together, so I'm okay with that. It's a tough choice between which one is better, which one to keep, which one to... If I had to keep one, I don't know. I kind of gravitate more towards this one just because it is a little smaller. And I think in a crowded room, I mean, this is still not going to be a super fan if you're in a big crowded room or something like this. These both... Now, I have used this one a lot to break down cardboard, and this one absolutely does great work. And I love, love, love the finish on this blade. Really nice stonewashed. Just, I love it. There's nothing I really don't like about this. And it's S35, which everybody will argue, and I think they're right, is better than the D2. I don't have a problem with D2, but if I look at it, yeah, the S35 is the better blade. This is about $400, $450 on the used market, give or take. These are $3 something new. So it's different. It's a hard one, guys. And this may be a huge thing for some people, and I'm just going to throw it out there. This is made in USA. This is made in China by Concept Knives. If that's a deciding factor for you, then you know which one you would pick. It doesn't matter to me at all. I am equal with either. I think they both have their strengths, and they both have their weaknesses. Pocket clip is a weakness here, and this has washers and not bearings. You know, similar, right? This one is a little taller in the pocket than this one. So it's going to take up a little more real estate. The Hinderer is going to take up a little more depth because it's a little bit deeper. And it carries... So this one is going to carry about here, is what's going to be sticking out. The Bömbur has more sticking out, which I don't like. I wished that they had have done this a little bit differently so that it would be a little bit deeper carry. You know, again, I'm splitting hairs on these. Yeah, this was... It was a very strange question as to which one would you keep between the two. But... the more I think about it and the more I'm talking about it now to you guys, it's a really good question because I can't say. I don't know. I will tell you that right now the Hinderer has had more pocket time than the Bömbur. Plain and simple. But this was a loaner. And when I tried to send it back to Dirk over at Midgards-Messer, he told me just to keep it. So now this will get more pocket time. The loaners, usually on their brand new ones and stuff, depending on who's sending them to me, I don't really carry them and use them hard because they're loaners. It's a tough question that I truthfully don't have an answer for. So I'm going to put it out to you guys. Which would you keep if you could only have one? Knowing what you know, I mean, let's say it was the tri-way on bearings. Let's say it's the bearing version with titanium. I don't know that that would change my decision. I don't know that I would be able to make a decision still. But for the sake of argument, let's say that it's the titanium scale on bearings, so that they're very similar. Do you guys have a clear-cut winner that you would keep? Let me know in the comments and tell me why. Because I'm very interested in why. Not so much, I don't even really care which one you pick, but I want to know why you picked what. So please let me know down below which one you would keep and why. Because they're both fantastic. One more thing is there's only 200 of these made. There's a ton of these out there. And that's another good point before we close. You can get aftermarket parts for this. You can get different scales. You can mod this up. You can get different hardware. You can get different scales. You know, I could get a titanium scale for this, I'm sure. So there's a lot of mod parts for these. So maybe that sways you in one way or another. There's not so much for this. You can get from them some 3D printing files to print some scales if you have a 3D printer. So there is that. Okay? That might make you think of this higher than this, because you can print your own scales. You could print your own sheath. They have some options like that. I don't know. It was a really good question that I'm glad that they asked, because it really has got me thinking ever since I saw that comment. So there you go, guys. Bömbur versus XM-24. Split decision? It's a draw right now for me. You guys help me make a decision down below in the comments. Thanks a lot, guys. I do greatly appreciate your time, and we'll see you tomorrow.